Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Chris. How you guys doing? Thanks for coming to watch the video. Thanks for taking time out of your precious days, you know, for the precious time that you have in your day. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I'm sure you won't leave dissatisfied because I'm going to speak truth. That's what I do. That's the only thing I know how to do now, and it's sad because I used to be like everybody else, normal as shit. You know what I mean? Just regular person, regular average everyday life, going about to and from, you know, with an Americanized mentality to the point where it's like I was just, ignoring all the things that are going on around me. And I was ignoring all the issues that were, you know, all the pressing matters, I should say, that have been going on in this nation. And for forever, more or less, I've been not playing my part. So within this last 2 years, well, actually within the last 5 years, I've been, you know, coming into my own to where I'm able to think for myself, and I can kind of deprogram myself, is what I call it. Okay, because that's what it takes. It's like we have to get into this phase where we deprogram ourselves from the things that have been, or the information that has been coming out for our whole lifetimes. You know what I mean? Because this is what we really are. We're live people that are sleeping. And it's like, wait a minute, are we really sleeping to the point where it's like we're just going to allow the government, the media, the two-party system to dictate how we live life? Okay, that's what it is. That's what it comes down to for me. It's like when I took a clear examination of where I want to go in the future, okay, and where I've come and where we've come from in the past, I realized that I don't want to continue along within the two party system mentality. I don't want to continue along ignoring the things that are happening within my government that I know in the future will destroy our children and us, because honestly, the way I see it is we are running ourselves towards extinction by allowing the government, the media, to continuously create these narratives of division, these narratives of hate, okay, within the the scope of the whole nation, and where it's like we need love, we need unity, but we're not going to get that because the government is handing it to us every day. That's what they're doing. You know what they're doing? Beating the negativity in our head. That's what they're doing. They're beating it down our brains. And it's like for 30 years, okay, for myself, okay, because, you know, when we're young, we're innocent. When we're young, we're free. You know, our minds are free to just roam and think and to adapt. And it's like what we adapt to is completely destructive to who we are as human beings. Think about that. We don't think about that. And we don't even talk about that. But we just lay it out there to where it's like, oh, well, this is America. This is the way it is. This is life. You got to deal with it. Go along with what the status quo says, or work within those confines to make your life better, and then do what you got to do to make the lives of others better around you. And then that's just it. Die. You know what I mean? Go along with this mentality towards the end of your days, and then just die. You know what I mean? I thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not that. No, no, no. It can't be. That can't be what life is meant to be for the millions of precious souls out there. You know what I mean? It's not what life was meant to be. But that is unfortunately how we've allowed our lives to transpire, or how we've allowed things to transpire in our lifestyle. Because if you look at it, the two party system, okay, Democrats, Republicans, they work in the way where you feel as though this is all there is. You know what I mean? Because they've been set in place for years and years and years. This is hundreds of years in the two-party system with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is years, hundreds of years in the making. But when you talk about the inception of governing in this country, you realize that there were more than two parties. You know what I mean? There were different parties at the time, but some were more strengthened than others, depending upon troops, finances. You know what I mean? It was more or less a power struggle. You know, so it wasn't about the people. No, the government being established was never really about the people. It was about maintaining power over the people. Okay, that's what the government initially was made for. Because look, if you think about it, this was native land. Okay, when the colonials and the explorers came to this land, they had no idea what to do, but they knew they wanted to control the land. Okay, because whoever gained control of this land, you know, gained control of a piece of the future. You know what I mean? And that's what we don't really take our times to under. We don't take the time to just remove our minds completely from the bullshit that we've learned. Because that's what it takes. It takes a deprogramming to actually reprogram your own mind. You have to deprogram your mind from all the bullshit and filth that you've consumed over the years. And it's hard to do because this is all we've come to know. So for you to just say, look, I gotta wipe all this knowledge away, it's hard to do. It's like, oh, I gotta forget all this shit I learned, and I gotta forget the processes that I've learned. It's not like, no, don't forget completely everything, but give back the Americanized knowledge. Okay, there's a key part about this: the Americanization of the knowledge or information that you've received. Give that back. Okay, because if you understand what the Americanization of your mind means, it's division. Okay, that's what it is. It's ultimately division. That's what Americanizing your mind means. Being ready to divide yourselves. Excuse me. Being ready to divide yourself amongst the people. You know, be ready to find your certain group that you just associate with, and that's it. You know what I mean? Do not go step across the aisle and try to communicate with people that are not like you. And that's what they built into our minds. Because think about it, the Americanization of our minds or excuse me, the Americanization of our mentality has birthed the hate within us. You know, has birthed the hate and division that we see today's time. Okay, because if we were thinking with our right minds or with the minds that we have that we are capable to possess or capable to, you know, get in tap with being human beings, we will realize that all this bullshit shouldn't be affecting us in the ways that it is. You know what I mean? We're rushing and running around fighting and bickering with each other about these politics and these issues that have come about that have, after years and years and years, have gone unchanged. You know, people that we fall for the government's tactic of tampering with certain issues and making it seem as though it's beneficial, when in actual reality, it's not. Because it's all for profit and all for power and all for control of the people. And we are the people who they want to control. And if we, as the people who they want to control, willingly participate in the system that they use to control us, what does that say about our minds? You know what I mean? That's what I say. We have to give back the Americanization of our minds because it's simple. This is not America. Okay? This is the free world. Okay? We're human beings. We're not Americans. We're human beings. But we have narrowed it down to where we divide ourselves amongst the whole of the world to where we're Americans. And guess what? They preach and teach that America is the best country in the world, which is so fucked up. Because we're supposed to be one world. We're supposed to be one people. But we bought into the division, so we continuously live amongst the division happily. Or sadly, but appearing happily. You know what I mean? And that's where we must cut the cord. That's where we must put on the brakes and say, stop. You know what I mean? This is our chance to really get back what what we need as far as the people putting their minds in a place where they question this Americanization of knowledge. They question this American perception of we have the best country in the world when it's like, wait a minute, we are not supposed to willingly divide ourselves from the whole of the world. We're supposed to willfully want to come together with the whole of the world for the betterment of this earth. Okay? Because we're all human beings, but they made it to where, oh, we hate Russians, we hate Chinese, we hate Muslims, we hate this group of that people, that group of people, because we bought into the barriers of division. You know what I mean? We bought into the invisible barriers, more or less, like the lines, the religion, the color of skin. These things are not meant to be used in a way to separate the people. Okay? These things, these things that we have no control over. Okay? Nobody controls where they're birthed. Nobody controls what skin tone they come out of their mother. But yet, this world acts as though they do. This world acts as though these children come out of these wombs with the choice of being this and being that, or having an abundance as to having nothing. You know what I mean? These kids come out of the womb all the same. But now, the way we have, I don't want to say just Americanized, but, you know, capitalized, turned this society into the capitalist society, children don't even have a fair shot. Okay? We as human beings don't even have a fair shot of thriving as the human beings that we were meant to be. Think about how messed up that is. And that is why I do what I do. That is why I stand on truth. Because I realize that we are greater as human beings than what we're showing at this point in time. We're greater than this. You know what I mean? And that is why I will continue to stand on truth. That is why I will not seek to divide and seek to preach negatively about anybody, because that's wrong. We can all do that easily because that's what's been birthed within us. That hate that's been birthed within us, it allows us to speak negatively towards people and others in a way that is foul, in a way that is wrong. You know what I mean? Because we should never move with hate. We should always move with love. We should always move with unity. We should always move to want to communicate across the aisle. But they have taught us not to. They have taught us to stay away from that. They have taught us to remain private and stick within your circles. They have taught us to not trust people outside of this space and that space. And it's real. Because the society that we live in has thrown all these things at us that makes it appear as though we can't trust each other. You know what I mean? We can't love each other. We have to look at each other like this group of people as though they're crazy and there's no way we can you can't get over to, you can't talk to these people. They're crazy. And that's wrong. We have to talk to all people, because guess what? Being a human being, okay, not an American, being a human being calls on you as a human being to communicate with your fellow human being, okay, for the betterment of the world. You know what I mean? But we don't even see it that way. We see it to where we have to communicate within this American confinement that we're in, and only communicate with Americans. And if you speak Korean, go back to your country, and if you speak Mexican, go back to your country. It's like, wait a minute. These people didn't have a choice. Okay? They didn't choose that they were birthed there. They didn't choose that they weren't birthed in America and have the abundance of things or whatever the case is. They didn't choose these things. History chose this shit for us. Okay? As well as today, we're ushering ourselves into another fate where history is going to decide, or the victors of history, you know what I mean, the rulers of this free world are going to dictate our future for us as well. But we're not going to let that happen, because we have to stand on truth. And the truth is, we cannot support the two-party system that is breaking our people. Okay? You have grown adults that don't even know how to think critically. The two-party system loves these people because they can push them any which way they want and they will listen. You know? There's not a lot of people like me who can think freely and say, look, I'm fucking done. You know what I mean? I'm done completely. Like, I'm ready to break free from the system completely, but it's not in a way that says, oh, I gotta run away from America because America's bad. No, because the people of America are beautiful. But the system that is in place in America is fucked up, because it takes advantage of the people and is destroying our future. So we have the ability today to change that. I hope we do. I hope you take the time, or I hope you took the time to listen to this video because, you know, we have to stand on truth. But other than that, I'm going to let this video rock out. I'm going to love y'all. I'm going to love people. I'm going to love, you know, the times that we're in because, look, this is history, but we were meant for this. As a human being, we were meant to take control of our lives. We were meant to take control of our destiny. And this is our chance. With that, I'm out. Hope y'all watch. Love y'all. Stay positive, okay? Stay positive and always stay loving. I'm about to go smoke my J and then research more information about how crooked the Clintons are, because that's all I do in the Democratic Party.